How does it feel to be the same sex as Donald Trump?
I suppose much the same as it would feel to be the same sex as Megan Hutzman, with a lot less groupthink.
Why do you hate rom-coms? Or do you just feel like you need to hate them?
Do you English? It's romantic comedies. Oh, let's see. The guy is always a bumbling idiot, and the woman is always a certified genius who can do no wrong. And hilarity ensues as half the human race is stereotyped, and the other half starts adding things to their list of demands.
Everybody likes The Notebook. Everybody likes Beyonce. It's just a fact.
Not a question, and not a fact. Next.
Why do you make women sit around and talk about men in movies?
I don't make women do anything in movies. I'm not in the Hollywood hierarchy. You might want to direct your question to the appropriate audience, directors, writers, and producers of movies, some of which are women.
And y'all easily just sit around and talk about boobs for hours.
Again, not a question, and you seriously overestimate the power of your breasts.
Why do you automatically assume that you won't like TV or movies that star a female lead?
I don't. I actually enjoy several movies with female leads, but then they are realistic portrayals with human limitations and not reboot characters put there to fulfill the demands of an overly loud minority demographic.
Why are you surprised when women are funny?
I'm probably funnier than you.
I'm not. But then being thought of as being funny requires more than you demanding that you are. And no, you're not.
Why do you think that we're obsessed with you when we hook up?
Let's see, could it be the hanging all over us? Or the nosy questions about our personal lives? Or the filing through our belongings, etc.?
9 times out of 10, I just want you to leave too. I'm busy. I got shit to do.
Seriously, do you have a question, or are you just here to tell us how you feel?
Why can't I sleep with as many people as I want to without being judged? When men do it, they're congratulated.
It's called these little things called STDs. And no, men could care less about other men's sexual activities. It's a thing called privacy.
Why do you consider a woman a tease if she doesn't sleep with you after 3 dates, but a slut if she sleeps with you on the first date?
A tease is a woman who won't sleep with you ever, even though she pretends that she will to get your money and or attention. A slut is what a jealous woman calls another woman when she's jealous. Do you English?
In what world does no mean yeah?
In her world, and her world, and hers.
No means no.
Not a question.
Why do you say that women are too emotional to be leaders?
Then justify catcalling by saying men just can't control themselves.
Specific examples, please? Because I have never heard either statement uttered by any man.
Why do you think that just because you're nice to me, I owe you my body?
Why do you think just because you find us attractive, or we have a nice car, or our wallets are plump, that we owe you our bodies?
Why would you ever send an unsolicited dick pic?
I never have, and I never will. Why would you think I ever would?
Why do you feel like it's okay to harass women or make offensive comments about women, but when somebody does it to your sister, it's not okay?
But then, to be fair, we aren't going around with hashtags like kill all women, now are we? And as far as my sister, she is quite able to handle herself, because she doesn't feel the need to cry at every harsh comment uttered in her presence.
How does it feel to interrupt me when I'm in the middle of making a point during a meeting?
I don't know. I have never interrupted you during a meeting I didn't attend with you. Maybe stop leading with your feels and stay on topic.
Why do you have to sit with your legs so wide open?
I get that you have balls, but I don't stand around with my arms wide open to make room for my boobs.
Well, if your boobs were in your armpits and highly sensitive to heat and compression, such that your brain subconsciously reacts to those stimulus, you might have made a point.
Why are women perceived as the weaker sex, even though we literally birth you?
Well, you didn't literally birth me. A. B. Not only do you, on average, have less muscle mass, but you generally select activities adverse to building muscle mass.
Why is it so bad to show your emotion?
I can think of a few reasons. A. B. C. Because men who are expected to not be handicapped by immature emotional outbursts have no time to be handicapped by immature emotional outbursts.
It means you're human.
Not a question.
Why are you always trying to prove your masculinity to me?
My, aren't we self-centered? Ever think that men need to prove their masculinity to everyone, and most especially to other men? Of course not, because really, it is all about women.
Why the f isn't it ladylike to cuss? When did words get gender?
I don't know, you're fucking beeping your own video. You tell me. And ever since the Proto-Indo-European languages were spoke. Der, die, das.
Why is it your first instinct to doubt women who have been sexually violated or raped?
Why is it your first instinct to believe you will be doubted? But of course, in cases of crime, it is expected that evidence will be presented and investigations will be had. You see, crimes are punishable. It would not be fitting to punish the innocent as if they were guilty, now would it?
Why do you assume a woman's angry because she's on her period?
Could it be her angry tone of voice? The furrowing of her brow? The frying pan half buried in the wall?
Why do you think women that wear makeup are false advertising? We can say the same thing about your dick size.
Well, let's see. Your makeup is worn for what purpose again? Oh yes, to cover flaws you perceive, and the signs of aging which you despise, which translates to false advertising. And I have as yet not seen any over-the-counter, non-surgical cosmetic that could alter dick size so you can put away your shaming language and the false analogies.
Why isn't it weird that there's a bunch of old white men sitting in a room making legislation about what I can and can't do with my body?
Because the dearth of qualified and willing female candidates on my ballot and in the electoral results both explains why women's studies majors think they should complain about instead of doing something about who is stepping forward to be put on the ballot, and why I shouldn't waste further time worrying over such easily fixed problems.
Do you have a coochie?
No, and you should take some fundamental biology courses. I suggest The Birds and the Bees 101.
Why are straight guys so obsessed with lesbians?
Straight guys, straight guys. I know this one. It's right there on the tip of my tongue.
How does it feel to get kicked in the ball?
Oh, look, an honest question. Tell you what, I'll get the ball-peen hammer. You just brace for the shock.
Do you ever get tired of trying to be manly all the time?
Never. Do you get tired of being womanly all the time?
Why are you so afraid of gender equality?
I'm not. I'm an egalitarian. Why are you so afraid of equality, period?
Why do I deserve to be paid less than you?
In what world does 77 cents equal $1?
In what world does 68 cents equal $1?
How is that fair?
At this point, I feel there is only one valid response to this. And notice, they didn't even bother to attempt to match up their claims.
Why are you intimidated by a woman who makes more money than you?
I'm not intimidated by any woman, nor most men. Why would you think the amount of money you have is a factor of intimidation to me? It's not.
That's awesome! More money!
That's an opinion. And also an awesome display of your shallowness.
Why are opinionated women seen as bitches?
When opinionated men are seen as bosses.
You really don't get the male dynamic where you are from, do you? Opinionated women who feel everyone is not only entitled to her opinion, but must share it, are bitches. The male of this is a bully, not a boss.
Why aren't you speaking up when you hear your male friends behind closed doors make jokes that are offensive to women?
Perhaps it's because we are behind closed doors where there are no women to be offended. I would ask the very same of you.
Are you so afraid of recognizing your own privilege? Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Just recognize it and do something about it.
Let's see, my privilege. I had the privilege of being beat as a child by one and blamed for it by the other. I had the privilege of bully attention as well. I've had the privilege of an atypical brain in a typical world with all the misunderstanding that avails. I've had the privilege of living a quarter of my life without a home and the rest in abject poverty. I have and continue to have no real part in any of my children's lives, thanks in large part to the biased legal system. Why, I'm so privileged. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me how massively underprivileged you and your middle-class trust fund living friends are compared to me. But just between you and me, thank you also for giving me another thing I can do about it.